Protesters participate in the Immigrants Make America Great March to protest actions being taken by the Trump administration on February 18, 2017 in Los Angeles, California. Protesters are calling for an end to stepped-up ICE raids and deportations, and that health care be provided for documented and undocumented people. David McNew/Getty Images. San Antonio, Texas. A few days ago, October 10 had been circled on calendars around the country, the day the Trump administration would make its first appearance before the U.S. Supreme Court, to argue for the full enforcement of President Trump's controversial travel ban executive order. Monday afternoon, in a one-paragraph order, the justices kicked that can down the road. One of the longest, most contentious, and confusing subplots of Donald Trump's presidency is now going to have to play a little, or perhaps a lot, longer. With the Trump administration issuing a third version of the order Sunday, the argument that the case before the High Court, which concerns the second iteration of the order, is now moot just became much stronger. If the justices decide that the case is moot, they would be able to resolve it without exploring the thorny statutory and constitutional questions it raises. Today's order from the justices asks the parties involved to file briefs by October 5 explaining whether, and to what extent, the case is now moot, while also removing it from their October calendar. Whatever happens 10 days from now, this issue is far from resolved. Here are some questions looking at how we got here, and where we could go next. What is the travel ban? The ban at issue is the second version of an executive order regarding immigration. The first order, authored with limited input from federal immigration agencies and issued weeks after Trump took office, banned for 90 days entry for citizens from Iraq, Iran, Syria, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen, and banned the admission of all refugees for 120 days, or, for refugees from Syria, indefinitely. The Trump administration has cited national security interests as the justification for the order, but critics instead see it as a veiled effort to implement a Muslim ban he promised during his presidential campaign. After mass protests and successful legal challenges around the country, Trump issued a revised executive order in March. The new order removed Iraq from the list of banned countries, included refugees from Syria in the 120-day ban, and addressed several perceived legal flaws in its predecessor, such as excluding green card holders and specifying the links to terrorist organizations in the other 6 countries. The 90-day ban was going to expire at midnight Sunday, prompting the Trump administration to issue its new executive action. Effective October 18, the new proclamation indefinitely restricts travel for citizens from Iran, Syria, Libya, Somalia, and Yemen, as well as North Korea, Chad, and some government officials from Venezuela. The new restrictions are conditions-based, not time-based, an administration official told The Washington Post, and vary by country. If security conditions improve in a country, it seems, restrictions could be relaxed or removed. Sudan has been removed after agreeing to accept large numbers of Sudanese nationals deported from the U.S., according to news reports. As president, I must act to protect the security and interests of the United States and its people, Trump said in a statement. Thomson Reuters, how did we get here? 3 separate federal judges blocked the implementation of the first travel ban, and a panel of 3 judges on the Ninth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals upheld that injunction. Refugee advocacy and civil liberties groups sued again after Trump issued his second order. Federal judges in Hawaii and Maryland blocked the implementation of key provisions of that order. On appeal, the Fourth Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals upheld parts of the Maryland ruling on the grounds that the order unconstitutionally discriminated against Muslims. In another appeal, the Ninth Circuit upheld parts of the Hawaii ruling on the grounds that the order violated the Immigration and Nationality Act, INA. The Trump administration appealed both decisions to the Supreme Court, which in June took up the case and allowed most of the order to go into effect. Next week, on October 5, the justices will receive briefs from both sides arguing whether this case is now moot. What questions are at issue? The justices were considering 3 questions regarding the travel ban. 2 of them relate directly to the Fourth and Ninth Circuit decisions, namely, whether the order violates the INA or the Establishment Clause of the Constitution. With the justices now focusing exclusively on whether the case has become moot or otherwise non-justiciable, another question the court asked back in June, those questions on the substance of the travel ban order are now on the back burner. And they may stay there for a wee.